watching Me, You, Jesus, and a Cup of Tea. And today I have Sister Gigi from my church. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know your role in church, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Go ahead.
My real name is Nijireth Trippett, but everybody knows me by Gigi because it's a lot easier to say.
Yes.
We currently serve as the Hyphen leaders, and we've been doing that for about 3 years now, and we really enjoy it. We love the young adults, we believe in them, and we know that God has a purpose for them, so we truly enjoy serving in that role. And then just everywhere else that we can serve, we are there. That's pretty much what we do.
Yeah. And where are you originally from?
So I am actually originally from Costa Rica because my parents were missionaries there, and my whole family is Colombian. But I was actually born in Costa Rica because my parents were missionaries, and I lived there till I was probably 1 or less, and then we went back to Colombia, and I lived there till I was 5, and then we came to the States. So
There you go.
I'm just from a little bit all over.
She's from everywhere.
Yeah.
And have you ever gone back?
I haven't. It's been a long time. I went back when I was 19, so a long time ago, and I haven't been back since, which I need to.
Yeah. Are you wanting to go back anytime soon?
Hopefully this year, Lord willing. My dad and my brother are over there now, so we definitely want to see them because we haven't seen them in a little while. So.
Right. And let's go ahead and talk about your favorite book in the Bible, if you have one. I know everybody says like I can't choose, or your favorite verse.
So favorite verses to me is a lot harder because I feel like whatever season you're in or whatever moment, everything hits a little different. There are verses that you go back to over and over and over, but I would say that my favorite book in the Bible is the book of Daniel. And it's not really because of the prophecies and the visions of the end time, all of that. They're kind of difficult to understand unless, without the Lord giving you understanding. But to me, it's more Daniel himself. Like, I really enjoy reading Daniel because of the character that God put in him. And, oftentimes we go to the book of Daniel because of the prophecies of the end time, trying to figure out, whatever. But I was reading it again a few weeks ago, and I had the thought, or a few months ago, and I had the thought, a lot of times we look at the events of the end time in the book of Daniel, but we neglect to see the character of the man in the end time. So that's something that really always speaks to me about Daniel, his integrity, his commitment, his consecration, his character, really, and his steadfastness, living in where he was living. He was in Babylon. And so to be in such a difficult place and thrive, truly thrive, not just survive and mope and whine, but be everything that God needed him to be in spite of his circumstances is always so challenging and inspiring to me. So I like the book of Daniel is my all-time favorite book in the Bible.
And you grew up in church, correct?
I did.
Yes, but was it in Colombia or was it here in the States?
Well, my dad has been in church long before he was married and had kids. He's first generation. Like, he came to the Lord and he was 19 years old. His family was all Catholic and all of that, so he was the first one. And so he came to the Lord when he was 19 years old. He got married at 26. Him and my mom met. And so I'm the youngest of 5, so it's a long time before I came around. And so all we've known is the church, and they were both obviously in ministry. He was a pastor for a long time, and they traveled and did missionary work for a little while. And so they've always, that's where we grew up. That's how we grew up. We didn't really know anything outside of that. So yeah, I've been in church my entire life, 30 years.
You grew up in church. That does not mean that you didn't go through struggles, you didn't go through, the world temptations or anything like that. What can you say to someone who's struggling through something right now, that they grew up in church and they need to hear something that you went through and how you
to me, one of the things that you need to have is a made-up mind. You have to have a made-up mind that come what may, you are going to do this. You are going to be about this. Like you said, I was born and raised in this, and you know, I grew up hearing my dad pray, and he would pray in the middle of the night. We've been through a lot of things as a family, so it was very encouraging to always see him hanging on to the Lord and praying and seeking the face of God in spite of whatever circumstance was going on. But it was also very confusing because I would think you're praying to God to help you, and yet there's all these situations that keep coming up, and you know, a lot of stuff that I personally have had to work through with the Lord as I've gotten older. But I remember being 16 years old. My dad was pastoring in Irving, and we were going through a really, really, really tough time. And I remember we used to live like right behind the church. Like our house was connected to the church, so like this little door would separate you from the church to your house. So I used to walk over there in the middle of the night or in the morning, whatever, to go pray, because I you know, it was easier for me to do that. So I remember one day I was struggling a lot, and I remember going to the church one day, and I was praying by myself, and I was so overwhelmed and so, I think, discouraged, just so many things, and truly considering, like, what is this truly for me? Like, do I really feel like I'm going to follow after this, like with my whole heart, not because I'm supposed to, not because my dad expects it, not because it's what I know. And I remember I'll never forget, you know, if the place was still there, I would take you to that little spot where I remember just being there on my face, contemplating what my options were, and realizing that I had no other option than to follow him, because I knew the world wasn't going to give me anything. I'd seen so many people leave because of whatever and come back even more wounded with just so much baggage and stuff that they have to overcome, and I didn't want that for my life. I'm not saying I've been perfect, but I just didn't want to carry that. I didn't want to have to deal with all of that. So I just remember getting on my face and telling the Lord, like, I don't have an option. Like, you are everything. Like, this, whether I understand everything or not, like, this is everything. And that day, I know that in that moment, I made a commitment, and I've never looked back since. There's been hard times, been difficult times, trials, everything, just like everybody else, but I never looked back. I didn't understand or didn't know everything that God had for me, and I still don't. But in that moment, it was like I made a decision that I was going to be in this, and I was going to be about this, and I was going to give it all of my strength, my passion, my desire, 100%, and I never looked back.
So you are a leader or you mentioned your role at church, for ages 18 or graduation?
Yeah, 18 to 25, 26.
25.
Graduation to...
Okay, 25, 26. And, you know, with the world telling you that it's okay, you know, to do this or not to do that. And I remember being that age, how hard it was to be accepted by friends, or being, you know, I could imagine them being told that, you know, why are you doing this? Why are you wearing that? Don't go to church, go with us instead. I can imagine that it's very difficult for them, because they're still trying to find their place, not only in church, but unfortunately in this temporary world that they are in. And you being one of the leaders, what do you encourage in them?
Well, one of the things I always tell them, you know, when they ask is, it's a difficult age because you've got the freedom to make decisions. You're driving your own car. Your parents aren't driving you to church. Most of them come on their own. Yeah. And even some of them, their families don't even come. Yeah. So you have the freedom to make decisions. You're in an age where you're making decisions about career, you know, jobs, school, if you're gonna date, if you're gonna get married, a lot of life-altering decisions that are going to shape the future of your life. And so I always encourage them to stay connected to God, stay connected to the man of God, stay connected to the body of Christ, because it's a really uncertain time, because nothing is clear. But if you stay with it, God will do things. He'll just order it in a way that you're going to receive what is for you if you stay with it.
Right.
Stay with it. Stay connected. Be active in the church. Be involved. Make friendships. Build relationships, because that will help you in this transition and in this time of like the in between, if you will. And it will help you. It will help you not get discouraged and not only try to find friendships outside of the church that are going to discourage you from, living the way that God desires you to live. So staying connected to God in prayer, Bible reading. This is a great time to give yourself, because you don't have all these other responsibilities yet. So seek Him in prayer, seek Him in fasting. You don't have kids that you have to tend to. You don't have a husband that you have to cook for, or a wife that you have to, take care of. And so you can give yourself 100% to Him. And so enjoy this time.
Yeah, especially being active in like fellowship and events like that. You don't ever think about how much that makes you feel amazing. Just like last night we had the PM service, and we needed that.
Absolutely.
I saw somebody that I hadn't seen a couple months ago, I just met, and it just felt like I knew her forever. She just, you need that. You need to be active in the fellowship and whatever's going on at church. Okay, and real quick before we end, is there any place that you've always wanted to go to, like to travel to, and something new you've never eaten and you're like, oh, I always wanted to eat.
I've always wanted to go to Italy. I know I like the beach and all, but I've always wanted to go to Italy. I don't know, something about it seems very interesting. And food, anything that is food, I want to eat. Really, I can't pick. I've tried a lot of different foods, so I've tried all kinds of food. So I wouldn't mind trying like authentic Italian food.
Yes.
I'm sure it's different over there than it is here.
Yeah.
So I would love to try that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing beauty with
Thank you for
me.
having me.
See, we could take this serious.
No, we don't. Although
we could have, played too much, but we got it. Thank you everyone for watching.
bye bye.